And welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back.
So today
we are talking about virginities and why we don't have them.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
So today I have an interesting topic.
Yes.
So yeah.
You first.
I guess we're gonna get straight into it. So we're gonna talk about how we lost our virginity.
Yes.
So let me take a seat up.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. So at the time I was dating this boy in high school my senior year. Most people know who he is. I'm dead. So me and him, so we've actually were friends a year before we started dating. Like we was friends. We would just like hang out or whatever. And we actually like outside of school. Or let me just say the story how we met, and then I'll say the story because I'm like there's no context to like who we are, like our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I met him in high school. We went to the same high school. I met him because we went to I was in this after school program, and it happened in one of my calculus classroom. And he was always like in the back of the classroom. It was this random boy in the back of the classroom. And I always just thought, like, I didn't notice him like right away.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, he was just there like in our meetings. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't a part of the meetings. He was just in the back of the classroom just like doing classwork. So I was like, who is this random guy in like the classroom doing our meetings, like every meeting? Mm-hmm. So one day he went from like doing work to actually being a part of the meeting. So I'm like, oh, okay, I guess he's a part of the group now. So he joined the group, and we go on trips like every 3 months. Like not every 3 months, but every few months we go on trips. So we went on a trip, and we had this activity, and they were like, okay, pair up with somebody you don't know. And at the time, the group was going on for a while, after school group, so I knew everybody there. And he was the only new person, so I was like, well, that's not fair because the only person I don't know here is him. Mm-hmm. So then the instructor was like, perfect, then that's your partner. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't mean for that to happen, but yeah, so we ended up pairing up together, and like, he still uses this against me to this day. Annoying. But he's taller than me, and I was small. I was small in high school. I was like 120 something pounds, like 5'3". I was skinny. So this freaking 180 fucking 5 foot whatever, like almost 6 foot tall man just fucking I had to guide him while he was blindfolded. So he tripped, and like you had to guide them but you couldn't speak. Mm-hmm. So they could speak, you couldn't. So it was like I have to guide you while you're blindfolded, but I can't speak to you. Like I have to like maneuver you somehow. So he ended up tripping, and he would joke around like, haha, you almost made me fall, haha, you almost killed me, blah blah blah, whatever. So that's how we started like becoming friends and stuff. And then we ended up adding each other on Facebook. And then we used to talk to each other outside of school, like, hey, how are you? Like, you know. And it was back when you used to do like the like my statuses, like my status.
Oh yeah.
Like shit like that. And he would always like it, like always like it. So I'd always respond, and I'd be like, oh, to be honest, and it'd be like, to be honest, you should hit me up sometime. Like you're a stranger, but like shit like that. Yeah. I really remember those days. So me and him started like messaging each other because of that. Mm-hmm. And then when we was in school, we would talk more. So fast forward that we went from like, that's how we met. So we became friends, and then we would hang out. We was hanging out a lot for like a year. Mm-hmm. Like, cause we actually found out he lived like 2 blocks away from me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we met, like, we would meet up outside of school. We would hang out. We would go play. He was teaching me how to play handball. Like, we was just, like, yeah, like, hanging out and stuff. So then, fast forward a year, because actually during this time, I was dating somebody else. So it was, like, platonic. We were just friends and stuff. Mm-hmm. So then, I ended up breaking up with my boyfriend, and at this time me and him were close, so I would like tell him certain things now. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, me and my boyfriend just broke up, blah blah blah. He's like, all right, cool, I understand, like, mm-hmm. You know, you don't need time and stuff. But it was funny because I ended up talking to like some other guy, like after I broke up with my ex. It's mm-hmm. like nothing serious, I was just talking to another guy. Ended up telling him like, yeah, I'm talking to some guy, blah blah blah. And after that, his mood towards me just changed. Like, wow. He went from like nice, like he was just like mad, like not mean, but like it was just like, oh okay, like I was just like, what? So I was like, what's wrong? Like, is everything okay? Like, what's wrong? He's like, oh, nah, nothing. And I'm like, wait, you have something you want to tell me? And then at first he was like, no. I was like, all right, cool. He's like, actually, he's like, I like you. And I was like, oh. Like, okay. And at first I was like, I want us to just stay friends because I know that like relationships like ruin friendships.
Yeah.
So I was scared at first because we had a really good, well, we still do, but we have a really good friendship. So I was like, I didn't want that to change. And he was telling me like, the friendship only gets stronger. He's like, even if we don't continue dating, like we'll be really good friends still.
Right.
Which I believe because we were really good friends.
Right.
So we started dating, and then like, let's say, I guess us dating, like our relationship, once we started dating, our relationship moved kind of fast. But that's just because we were friends for so long.
Yeah, you know.
Before we started dating. So we were already comfortable with each other. Yeah. Right. So fast forward to how I ended up losing my virginity to him. I remember this. So I think it was supposed to happen. It was around Thanksgiving time. Yeah, so I met him when I was 16. A whole year passed. We started dating 2 days before my 17th birthday. So 16, 2 days, started dating, 2 days later I turned 17. Now fast forward to Thanksgiving break. So you know in school, like the day before, like the break is like a fun day.
Yeah.
Like go that fun shit.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah.
So since it was like a fun day, I was like, well, I don't need to go to school. So I ended up skipping school to hang out with him. Mm-hmm. And I went to his house or whatever. And it's funny because my friend at the time was like, Tara, why didn't you come to school today? You know, they canceled the fun day. We actually ended up doing work, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I didn't come, so I'm not coming.
Right.
But me and him, we ended up hanging out at his house. And it was funny because we was like, usually we watch movies in the front in his living room. But for some reason, the movie that I wanted to watch, like it wouldn't play on like his front TV. Mm-hmm. So he's like, do you want to watch it in the back, like his room? Mm-hmm. And I was just like, in my head, I'm like, I know shit happens when you're private, but in my head, I'm like, I really want to watch this movie. Like, it was a movie, Shot Us. You know that movie?
Yeah.
That was my movie. And I was like, nah, I really want to watch this
like,
shit.
I'm going to watch it, so yeah, let's
right,
go.
So we moved to his room or whatever, and we're watching the movie, and then we were just, like, kissing and stuff, and then, like, touching, and then he started, like, playing with me. Mm-hmm. And then, but mind you, I'm a virgin, so it was like mad weird.
Like,
a virgin to a guy, so it was like mad weird. I'm just like, you know.
What is this?
Right. So I'm like, okay. So then I think my mom ended up calling me. She's like, hey, I need you to come home really fast, because I told her after school I was hanging out with one of my friends, or like just staying out late. Sort of staying out late, like. But she was like, oh, before you go hang out, can you come and do something for me, and then you can like go back outside. I'm like, all right, cool. So I ended up having to leave after that. Yeah, I left after that, and then I did something for my mom, came back. But after that, since like it kind of like interrupted the movie, just ended up just like actually just chilling and like watching the movie or whatever. So it was like, okay, next time we meet up, you know, it's gonna happen, because it was about to happen. So I think literally, we ended up like 2 weeks later, ended up hanging out again. And then that's when I lost my virginity. It was like, yeah, we already knew it was gonna happen the next time we saw us. And the thing was, at the time, my friend, I was letting her know, like, yo, I was just at so-and-so's house and this one down, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, I don't think you guys should be doing that. Like, she's like, I think you guys are moving too fast. Like, what are people gonna say about you when they know? Like, if they know that you guys had sex so soon. And I'm like,
well, how would they know?
Right. So I'm like, she was like, so in my head, I'm like, how would they know? One, and two, like, who cares what they think? Like, why am I not gonna do what I want to do?
Because when they actually be like, yeah, it was fire.
Right.
It was the bomb.
Right. So she's like, I don't think you guys should do that. And I was just like, yeah, okay. Like, I like listen, but I wasn't gonna listen. But right. I like listen. I was like, okay.
Weirdo.
Because it still happened. But yeah, and then ended up being at his house again, because he had his own room. Mm-hmm. So we was in the room just chilling. I believe we was watching a movie. We always used to watch movies when we first started dating. Yeah. We was like watching a movie. I think we got high. I think, because I don't remember like the details of how it happened. I just remember it happening.
Right. Like everything is slow motion.
Yeah, and it's funny because I wasn't nervous, but it was weird, because then when it was happening, right? So after he put it in, it was like, he's like, does that feel okay? And I'm like, I don't know. Because I'm like, I don't know what this
What is okay supposed to feel like?
I'm like, I don't know if this is how it's supposed to feel. I'm like, it don't feel that bad. But then after, like, it did hurt a little bit, but people saying it's gonna hurt. It's your first time. Like, it didn't hurt. It was uncomfortable. It was like uncomfortable, and I was just like, okay, like maybe it'll get better the more you do it, because you know this is just a new feeling. You're just not used to this feeling. I'm just like, it doesn't, like, I didn't know what it was supposed to feel like. It was weird, but yeah. And then that's how it happened and stuff. And then I discovered some stuff about me that I didn't know I did. Yeah.
That's how you learn about your body. Like after the first time, you be like,
I'm like, oh.
Oh.
He has to make his debut. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Ace. But yeah, how did you lose your virginity?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I know it was quick. Like, it was really quick.
Really?
Because I was talking to this guy. I don't know how we met. I feel like we met at work. Either work or like out in the club or something.
Mm-hmm.
He was cool. He wasn't really my type, but he was cool. And he was like, oh, I want to be a boyfriend. And I'm like 18. So I'm like, oh, I'm finally able to date. Yes, I'll be a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And then we like talked on the phone all day, all night, text all day, all night. Mm-hmm. And then he had, before I could go to his house, he had to come meet my parents. Mm-hmm. I think my mom was just there. Yeah, my dad was at work, but my mom was home. So she was like, oh, I don't like him or whatever. And I'm like, but that's my boyfriend. Like, all right, that's my boyfriend. Mm-hmm. So we went to his house, and when I tell you it was really quick, like it was really quick, because I remember
was
like
it his
watching.
First time too?
He said it wasn't, but how was I supposed to know? So
right, I ain't know shit.
It was really quick. Like we were watching a movie, and then we started kissing, then we started touching, and then it was over. Like I remember him like putting it in, and then that was it. It was like over after that.
That's weird. I don't know. I feel like my first time he catered to me more. He was like, how do you feel? Yeah. Are you okay?
Right.
Like he cared about like how I felt, because he knew it was my first time. I told him, so he knew. So he like catered to me, make sure I was okay, and I'm like, I'm fine. I'm not fragile.
But the second time, like after I broke up with him, I was talking to somebody, but I don't think I was dating them. Mm-hmm. I knew then that I lost my virginity. I was like, oh, this is what my mother was talking about when she said that shit hurt. This shit hurt.
I was dead.
But he was, I don't know, because I think because I told him I wasn't a virgin, he thought that he could just like wild out, and I was like, bro. Yeah. Nah. No.
I said I wasn't a virgin. Right. I didn't say I've been doing this for a while.
Right. But I don't know, mine wasn't like romantic or anything. I was just like, is this what this feels like? Yeah. I don't know if I like it yet. And then the second time I'm like, let me try again. But my mother prepared us, because she got pregnant with my brother when I was 9, and she had him when I was 10. Mm-hmm. So she was like, y'all are old enough to know. My sister was 11. Mm-hmm. Y'all old enough to know about sex now. And she showed us how to put the condom on a banana or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then she said, this is how you put the condom on. She put the condom on, and she said, and you don't have sex unless they have the condom on. Mm-hmm. Then she looked at us and said, but it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt like hell. It's gonna really hurt. You might bleed a little bit, but it's okay. But it's gonna hurt.
I don't know if people said it hurt, because I was expecting it to hurt a lot, and it didn't. My mom prepared me. Like once I actually got my first period, she talked to me about sex and stuff, because she was like, okay, you're at the age now that if you do have sex, you can have a kid. So she explained to me like how that works, and like, you know, how to protect yourself and everything. But it was like, she didn't tell me it was gonna hurt. I heard it from like other girls like our age and stuff. Like, oh my god, I lost my virginity. It hurt. I'm so done. When I lost it, I'm thinking it's about to be like fucking, I'm over here
burning, like, ripping, splitting.
Like, I mean, yeah, it was hard to get in, but it didn't like rip me out.
He broke it.
Right.
I'm ruined.
Like over here like
It's hanging out.
Right. Like, I never understood that. Like, it was really uncomfortable, and it, like, it hurt a little bit, but it wasn't, like, unbearable. Like, they like, it hurts so bad. I'm like, so why are you doing it? Like,
right. Thank you.
Like, if it hurts so much, why are you doing it? How did your mom find out that you were having sex?
I don't know. I told her, like, years later. But she said she knew. She was like, oh, I knew because you came and went to sleep. And I'm like, what does that mean?
I'm dead.
What does that mean?
My mom knew because I ended up getting birth control. Because, because it was my senior year. So, so the first time it happened, I actually wasn't on birth control. So, he was just risking it. Right? So, I was like, okay, we actually had a talk, like, me and him. Because I'm like, okay, I'm graduating high school. I'm going straight to college after I graduate. And I don't need nothing to happen in between that. Right? So then I was like, okay, I think I want to go on birth control. So I was actually old enough to make my own appointment. So I made an appointment and I went and I got birth control. And I guess, like, you can make your own appointment at 16 and go without a parent or guardian. But I guess because I was under 18, they still called my mom to, like, I guess tell her that I came in or whatever.
Insurance or health insurance.
Yeah, I think so. So I went and I got birth control, and she's like, well, what did you do today? And I'm like, for her to ask me what I did today.
How was your day?
I mean, she knew exactly what I did today. So I'm like, I went to the doctor. She's like, why? I was like, I'm going to go get birth control. She's like, okay, why didn't you tell me? And I was like, I didn't think I needed to. Right. She's like, but I'm glad you're being responsible. I'm like, okay. She's like, so what kind did you get? And we had a whole, like, conversation about different types of birth control. I'm like, yeah, I picked the one that I was comfortable with. And it was just like, that's how she found out.
You know, I never thought about that.
Really?
Getting pregnant. Because she told me you can't have sex without a condom. I don't know why. I just figured it didn't work without a condom.
But you can still get pregnant even if you wear a condom.
Yeah, but I didn't think sex worked without a condom. Because she was like, you have to have this on.
Yeah.
You have to. Like, you can't do it without this on. That's why I'm like, oh, okay. But it's so weird because I've always wanted to be pregnant in high school.
Why?
I don't know why. But I always wanted to be like the pregnant one, the one with the baby. But I'm like, how can I do this without having sex? Because she said it hurts.
What? That is like a weird thing to want.
And then I told her, like, after I finished high school, she was like, thank God you didn't, because that's a dumbass decision. I really wanted a baby.
In high school. Oh my goodness.
She was like, how did you take care of it? I don't know. It's not my problem. You take care of it.
I'm dead. Okay, so the last question. Do you regret who you lost your virginity to?
Yes.
Why?
Because it was just quick. It just didn't do, like I don't have, like, a good story. Yeah. Like, the sex wasn't even good.
Like, even after, like, the first time?
No, it wasn't good.
Oh. So I'm like, despite the fact it being quick, like, the person, were they a good person or like?
No, he cheated on me. And the girl that he cheated on me with got mad because I didn't want to fight for him.
Like, she wanted a problem.
Right. She was like, oh, so you just gonna let him go? Yeah, you can have him.
I'm dead. Nah.
And then she was like, oh, but we can share him. I was like, no. I don't share. You can keep him.
I'm dead.
Thank you.
Nah.
Bye.
Yeah, I don't regret who I lost my virginity to. Like, even if things, like, never worked out or, like, we didn't speak or, like, our relationship, like, ended, I was, like, it was with someone that I trust. And it was with someone I know that's not gonna, like, treat me bad. Right. So I was like, even if it didn't, because at that time, I didn't have no intentions on, like, the future. It was, like, I was so young that everything was just, like, well, what happens now? Like, I didn't think, like, a year from now, 2 years from now. So I'm like, well, I enjoyed it and I liked who I was with, so if it didn't last, I wasn't gonna be like, oh well. Yeah.
Like it's some times that I had sex and I was like, oh, it was okay, and there's other times I'm like, could have did without this. I'd probably be a better person without that. You know?
I need all of it. I said I need all of it.
I'd be like, ugh. Like, now when I think about it, I be like, ew.
I'm dead. You just don't like men.
Right. Like, now when I think about, like, balls, I be like, but yeah, guys, keep your virginities if you have them because of COVID and herpes and babies. Yes. And what's another one? Gonorrhea.
STDs, STIs.
All that.
Stay safe. Use protection.
Use a lot of protection.
If you are not, well, I wouldn't say, Tony, I'm so not for birth control, but a lot of people have their own preferences.
I've never taken birth control.
Yeah, I don't use birth control anymore. I used to, but I feel like it didn't mess me up, but like, it just, the side effects. Yeah. Like, it made me gain so much weight, and like my emotions. I used to be such a mean person. Like, I was so mean whenever I was on birth control. So I'm like, yeah, I'm so not for it. But I guess teach his own.
Yeah. Some people, birth control works really good for them,
mm-hmm.
and other people do. I've just never been on it because I didn't have no plans to get pregnant or to get an STD, so I didn't. Condoms it is.
I'd still use birth control even when I use condoms. I was like, no chance. Mind you, I was so strongly, I did not want kids for nothing in the world. Like, I was like, a kid, not me.
No.
Tara was never getting pregnant. That's what people like, when you having kids, like when you having kids, like, I'm not carrying them shit.
She got a baby, just one. No. I'll help you. Don't worry.
You gonna carry it?
No. I said I'll help you.
That is helping.
I'm not carrying no baby.
Oh, wow.
I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
I be seeing the damage babies be doing. I'm not.
Right. You know, saw a birthing video?
Right. Ooh. They be like, that shit tore me from the front to the back. I'd be like, nah. And then you see my head? You see my husband's head? No.
You be gonna have a little peanut head.
No. Mm-mm.
No, babies are a blessing, but
they are. Just not for everybody.
Right. I might have a kid. I'm 30, so I have to make my mind up like real quick. Like within the next 2 years.
Sure, gonna have them for me.
I need to hype myself up. Like, yeah, you're gonna be a mom. No. See, that don't even sound right.
I'm gonna be a mom, guys. Just know that if I become a mom, it was by accident.
On purpose, by accident. She's married. How's it by accident? Like, come on.
Like, it's not planned. That's what I mean. Like, it's not.
Of course not. You're married. It doesn't matter if it's planned or not. It's gonna happen.
I'm dead. Well, guys, thank you for tuning into this video. Yeah, again, you guys learned something about me that I feel like you shouldn't have.
Right. We share too much with y'all.
Right. This channel,
especially when y'all interact with us.
Right. Really. For people who don't talk to us, you guys sure know a lot about us.
Okay.
Right. Well, all right, guys. We hope you enjoy. Like, comment, subscribe, share.
Share.
Follow our links down below.
Mm-hmm.
And turn your post notifications on.
And we'll see you next time. With something crazy, probably. Who knows?
Until next time.
Peace.